Best greetings from Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. Today, June 12, 2015. And if you are interested in wasps, this video for you. If you are so much afraid about wasps, this video is especially for you. If you are a beekeeper and you hate wasps, this video is also for you. And if you can understand English, this English speaking lecture especially for you, just to learn English terminology about beekeeping. And my name is Viktor Fursov, and I'm research scientist of Institute of Zoology of National Academy of Sciences in Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. And today I'm at my laboratory, and I would like to show you and tell you the story about wasps. Exactly, you can hear this wasp. I collected it morning time, and that's actually Scolioidea wasp, big female which is trying to escape from this jar. By the way, I already recorded a video about Scolioidea wasps, so today is continuation. I will tell you a story more about another wasp, not only about Scolioidea wasp. About Scolia you can watch another video. What's about wasp? Of course, you know some bees, you know your lovely queen if you are a beekeeper, you know just the colony which consists of worker bees. So if you're a beekeeper, you know that there are some drones, especially in the first part of summer or in the end of May. So, but what's about wasps? Do you know their biodiversity? Usually people don't know something about the biodiversity of wasps, but people hate wasps because they are stinging. And actually, to be honest, you are right. Only just be careful about just Scolioidea wasp. Scolioidea wasp also can sting you if you can touch her. So try to avoid wasps. But I will tell you about wasp, and of course I need to tell some names in the Latin language and also in English language. So wasps which are stinging, by the way, and most common, they belonging to family Vespoidea. Vespoidea, and they are called common ordinary name, they're hornets. Or some of these wasps from family Vespoidea, they are paper wasps. But usually many of these Vespoidea wasps were called yellow jackets. Why this very strange name? Because actually they're yellow and black, and they keep out like a yellow jacket on their body, so it's very funny. So that's why they name yellow jackets. So yellow jackets, hornets, and paper wasps, and some of them they're potter wasps or mason wasps. And I will be pleased to show you some of these wasps in my collection, by the way. So in this collection, in this part, I keep these black and hairy. They are Scolioidea wasps. And this B1, and probably you know this B1 very well, because that's a hornet. Big hornet, size about 4 centimeters from family Vespoidea, and this is a name Vespa crabra. Some others, they're smaller. For instance here, the genus Vespola germanica, smaller than just honeybee. And this one, paper wasp, Polystine subfamily, paper wasps like this one, approximately the same size as honeybee. And which of them were most dangerous for beekeeper, for instance? And because they are social wasps, this superfamily Vespoidea and the family Vespoidea, they're social wasps, so they're feeding their brood, their larvae, with different meat, and by the way, usually, and the meat usually from different insects, or maybe even some just vertebrates. We can eat even just a meat. So if a Vespa crabber is coming to honeybee nest, honeybee colony, that's very dangerous predator, because Vespa crabber will kill just dozens, hundreds, even thousands of your honeybees. Your beloved honeybee colony will be just destroyed will appear just a Vespa crabber nest somewhere nearby your apiary. But what about this small Vespoidea germanica? Vespoidea germanica, that's a tiny Vespoidea wasp, and they are living underground. Underground they are creating again like a ball, and they're also eating different insects, but I'm not sure that they will be dangerous for honeybees because their size approximately the same. So they are natural predators, so they're collecting different prey, different other insects like grasshoppers, flies, even dragonflies, some bees, tiny bees, by the way, which less than honeybees, or just maybe even some beetles. But Vespa crabber is the most dangerous bee, wasp, for honeybees. And this family Crabberonidae, it's a special family. They're very nice. They're very similar, by the way. Crabberonidae family, very similar to yellow jackets. From the first glance, you will not recognize them, but I will show you just the all view for this box, just a close view from the camera. Later you can see it. But from first glance you will not recognize probably Crabberonidae or just Vespoidea, but Crabberonidae is solitary wasps. Solitary wasps, that means they are not creating a colony. They are living one by one female, another female, next female, but they're very interesting because they're hunting on bees. Yes, so many of them, many species in this family, they're hunting for wild bees and also for honeybees. Just each female need to just sting and paralyze the female or honeybee or small wild bee, and taking this bee to just a small hole, which is this solitary wasp Crabberonidae, for instance, Philanthus, this genus Philanthus, which is collecting honeybees, which is harvesting and just preying on honeybee. Digging the nest under the ground and just taking this one bee inside this nest and then the female laying eggs on a honeybee. So from one end the larva will eat just the body of a total adult of a honeybee. So it's a very interesting life cycle. But the danger, I guess, not so important because they're very rare. Many species were widely distributed in a steppe region, even in some steppe forest region, but they are not important as dangerous for honeybees. Well, and what's about another? I will show you just family names. This, as I told you about Vespoidea. Vespoidea were many species of Vespa crabber, this big one, then Vespa orientalis, very dangerous, also big Vespoidea. Vespa vitulina, just a new occasionally introduced species to Europe, already to France, Spain, and this species is very dangerous. Vespoidea germanica, as I told, small one, and Palistis dominulus. Palistis is not dangerous species because Palistis is not solitary wasp, it's just making very small colony. Colony may be consisting 20-30 cells, and in Palistis, Polistini subfamily, they're living usually on the grass. So if you can find just a very small nest on a grass, not on a tree. On a tree can be Vespoidea and Vespa crabber, but if you can find it on grass, that's not dangerous for your honeybees. That's usually Polistini. They're just nest consisting of 20, 30, maybe up to 50 individuals, maybe up to 100, but it's not so many wasps. It's just a little bit connected in comparison with your honeybees colony, for instance. So they're not very dangerous for honeybees. And other families, very interesting family of wasps. This is a velvet wasps. Velvet wasps, or just Melliponini family. females of Melliponini family were wingless. Males were wings, and Melliponini females they are without wings, and they're just crawling on the ground. Very interesting, because they are parasitic wasps. They are parasitizing on different species of digger wasp, of some other bees, and they are living under the ground. And again, very interesting wasps. They are spider wasps. Spider wasps, black, usually they are black colored, shining, sometimes with black wings. They're just very narrow, very slender, very nice, and they're preying on their special prey. Their prey is spiders, so that's why they're spider wasps. Pompilidae family, spider wasps. Pompilidae family, very interesting wasp, very nice for observations. They are just hunting for their prey, the spider, even inside their huge net. So just hunting, paralyze the spider and taking it on the ground, and then just going together with the spider and the female making the nest under the ground and laying eggs on the spider. So the brood, just one larva, will eat one spider or maybe several spiders if just female collected small one. So the big one will be good enough food for one larva, one maybe, three very small for one larva again. But paralyzed like a fresh food for larva. And I cannot mention these lovely wasps, like mud wasps. Mud wasps, they sometimes come into my laboratory as well. They come into this room, by the way. They call them another English name, mud dabbers, or mud diver, or dot digger. And this is Stelifron, or from a family Vespoidea, Stelifron, digger wasp, dot digger, mud diver, mud dabbers. What's about mud? Because these wasps, they're collecting mud. They're collecting mud for their nest. They're creating small, just a relatively small, just cells, and they're making a nest one by one. One cell, next cell, just all together, but only one female is doing it, because they're also solitary wasps. Stelifron, they're solitary wasps. Usually they have very slender shape. They looks very nice. They're colored usually either black or yellow, but they're solitary. They're not aggressive at all. Okay, if you can touch it, this wasp will sting you, because the sting is presented, and this wasp need to sting the spider as well. So this spider was this mud wasps, mud dabbers. They are living just outside, not under the ground, but usually in some holes, sometimes in some different rooms, so where they can find just free hole, and they can create the nest from the mud. Mud becoming very tough, you cannot just destroy it. Nevertheless, some parasitoids, some small tiny parasitic wasps can find this wasp and can parasitize wasps, larvae, the brood inside this wasp. But this is another story about parasitoids of wasps and bees. So, and finally, I need to mention, of course, Scolioidea. As I already showed you, this is a big Scolia, the family Scolioidea, and family Typhidae, which are also what looks like a Scolioidea, very similar. They're very hairy, black and yellow colors, very colorful. They're not very aggressive. They're also solitary wasps, and as well as a Scolioidea wasp, they're solitary wasps. As you remember, Andrenidae wasps, they're hunting on some bees, so also solitary wasps. Vespoidea, they are social wasps. So this superfamily Vespoidea. So they are wasps. So that's a story about wasps. And of course, if I showed you just this collection of bees and wasps, and doesn't mean that you need to collect them. if you need to study them better, for initially take the photos, because now it's very easy. You can take photo with your very simple camera, digital camera. You can take very interesting natural photo in natural environment on just maybe flying wasps, maybe just hunting wasps, maybe just feeding wasps, maybe on flowers, maybe near their natural habitat, maybe how they prey on their just host. So you can take a really unique photographs in natural environment. But nevertheless, if you want just to recognize the species of these wasps or bees, just don't try to make your personal collection on very big pins, usually shooting pins, so with big balls, like this. So this collection will be really useless because you will destroy insects and the collection will be useless. You need to use professional pins to take insect and make very careful collection, like in this box, for instance. So that's a professionally done collection. But nevertheless, if you can collect your samples maybe in some small vials for small wasps, for small bees, that can be useful for experts, for entomologists, or if you can collect them even in some vials, in a big vials like these, so and show for experts, or you can use vials with this size closed with ethanol, with alcohol, so you can collect some bees or maybe wasps in ethanol, and you need to add also the label with description of place, the collector and the host, and maybe the plant where you collected it. So with this label like here, each of this file has a label. This is valuable collection with insects inside vial with label, and also with preserved sample in ethanol. So if you can collect it, just show it later for expert and ask for identification if you are interested, which photographs you just took precisely in special place, or if you want to create your just initial collection, you can receive professional identification of species from expert who can identify you with the species of wasp or wild bees, by the way. So that's a story about wasps, and if you are interested in bees, just search for my first part of the story where I told you the story about wild bees. The story was about wasps, and first one was about wild bees. So thank you for your attention. If you liked this video, press like, subscribe to my channel and follow my channel, and you will watch more interesting videos about entomology, about beekeeping, about nature and about animals. And see you soon on my channel. If you like, subscribe. See you soon.